Hello everybody out there and welcome back to the channel. I've got Michael with me.
You.
And we've got 3 special videos for all of you today. E3 just happened. All the conferences just happened. And every year what I love to do when E3 is around is I love to share my thoughts on all the conferences. For those of you that are new to my content, I used to do this a lot on Dark Avenger C86. We did it for the past couple of years. We would watch a conference and do a video on a conference. We'd watch another conference and do another video on the conference. Now this year, it's been a bit busy. As you all know, big stuff is happening over on Dark Avenger C86. We got a big thing that we're going to be doing on July 1st. Again, reminder, Dark Avenger C86, July 1st, 9 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Be there for the live show. But anyway, because of all this big stuff going on, instead of doing a video for each conference this year, we're going to be dividing it up into 3 videos. This video, as you all see from the title above, which is going to be covering a multitude of companies from EA to Bethesda to Ubisoft to Square Enix. And then we're going to do our second video, which is going to be posted in the afternoon, and that's going to be all about Xbox. And then we're going to conclude it all with Nintendo, because today, as we're recording this video, was the Nintendo Direct. Yep. And I got to say, everything we're going to talk about is stuff we're excited about.
Yes, and we have it in our opinions.
Yes, these are our opinions. Now, we're not going to be covering everything that was dropped. I feel like that would be a very, very long whatever video. We're going to be talking about a lot of the stuff that we are interested in, like you just said. So we're going to be talking about the games that caught our eye. We might drop some stuff that was mentioned for reasons either we have the game or we've heard, we want to discuss something about the games. But for the most part, we're not going to be covering everything. As always, in every video, I love to mention, always go check out the conferences for yourself, especially if you're a huge game fan. This is the Comic-Con for games every year. E3, San Diego, New York Comic Con are the 3 conventions I look forward to getting news from each and every year. And here's EA. And San Diego's right around the corner as well. But anyway, let's stick with EA. Let's talk about this. Now, normally I do this on my channel, like I said. But as you all know, right now, Dark Avenger C86 is focused on that 500th comic review. So right now, everything's shifting over to here. And again, this is stuff that I like to talk about. And I want to share it here on the new channel. So hopefully you all enjoy it. I'll be sharing this video all over the place, though. So we're going to start, like I said, in this video, we're going to be covering a multitude of companies. Now, it's going to be out of order, possibly, maybe not. I don't know. I just have a list of all the things that were talked about. Now, EA Play happened first. And I want to pause a minute. PlayStation, unfortunately, decided to pull out of E3. So there is, unfortunately, no coverage for PlayStation. However, if you're subscribed to PlayStation, any game that was dropped from whether it be a gaming company or even if Xbox dropped the world premiere trailer, if it's on PlayStation, PlayStation shared the trailer as they were coming out throughout E3. As a matter of fact, PlayStation did share a couple of exclusive trailers, like the Walking Dead VR game, Zombie Army 4. There were a few. But again, this was not at E3, so unfortunately this is not stuff we're going to be discussing. So if you are a huge PlayStation fan, I'm sorry. And hopefully PlayStation will be back next year. Hopefully they will see that a lot of people are upset they didn't go to E3 this year. Maybe they'll change their mind. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But I will say what we did see was amazing. And it's too bad that PlayStation decided they were going to do their own thing over on PSX. Even Nintendo, which they did have conferences in E3, kind of semi-pulled out one year. The following year, they made sure to do an E3 Nintendo Direct, though.
Yep.
So I'm hoping PlayStation will learn from this year and either be there for a conference next year or at least have some type of a version of PlayStation Direct or State of Play, whatever they're calling it, that they copied off of Nintendo, and they'll have that during E3 week.
Yep.
It would be nice because honestly, and we'll talk about this in the next video, Xbox really shined bright in this convention,
absolutely.
But we'll talk about that later. This was a very long 4-minute intro. Let's go. I promise the next 2 parts will be literally directly into the material, but we're going to start with EA because EA took over an entire day. It was EA Play, and they showcased a lot of games. They showed off a lot of the games that are out. They showed a couple of teasers, a couple of trailers. One game stood out. Actually, I'm sorry. 2 games for everyone stood out the most. 1 for me, but I am going to mention another because I know it is semi-popular. Again, I wanted to mention everything that I feel like is big. And again, if we miss anything, feel free to share in the comments your thoughts about any game we missed. Do that. We'd love to hear your thoughts on any game that's not mentioned here and why you think it's important to mention. But One thing I will say is EA dropped the ball with Anthem last year. And they dropped the ball again this year with only 2 minutes. They only talked about Anthem for 2 minutes, and it was nothing new. This was their big hype game for this year.
Yeah, because I think they probably put more into the video game. Like, when the video game came out, I think they were just putting some add-ons to it.
I don't know, but I'm a little disappointed at that. But we're not going to talk about disappointing. Let's stay positive. Star Wars Jedi Order.
Oh.
15 minutes of gameplay.
I was blown away by this.
That game was amazing. Now, there are, again, some flaws here, some flaws there, but again, it's early. It's not coming out until close to the end of the year. I like it. I like the graphics. I like what we saw in the gameplay. I'm definitely down for the game. I'm definitely getting it. I'm super excited to see more before the game comes out, but we are definitely... A lot of these games that we mentioned, we have on pre-order, so this is definitely a buy from us. So I enjoyed the trailer and the 15-minute gameplay. The actor that they're using for Jedi Order actually played the Joker in Gotham.
Mm-hmm. I saw that one.
So I'm excited to see more with this game. It's very exciting for me. Other things that EA dropped, Apex and Battlefield DLC. Battlefield 5 is getting an expansion. Apex is going into Season 2, and they introduced a couple of new characters. Again, these are 2 games I have, but I've not really dedicated a lot of time into.
Played full depth into it.
Right. But again, with all this hype, I might check out the Apex character. We'll see. As far as Battlefield 5 goes, again, that all depends on time. The last thing I do want to mention from EA was Sims 4. Everybody was going crazy for it. We aren't Sims players, but it's worth mentioning.
Yeah, because Sims is like really out there.
It's a huge expansion, and they added mermaids to it. They're adding magical, I forgot, wizardly world or something like that. So it's going to be like a D&D possible. So yeah, that was all of EA. I was kind of shocked that the only thing that really stood out to me was the Jedi Order as far as new games. Everything else was add-ons to games.
Right.
So same for you. There was nothing else that really stood out for you as far as EA.
I was just saying, like, the Star Wars game is really the only one that stood out the most because that
was the spotlight.
Yeah, and the graphics too were beyond right there.
I'm looking forward to Star Wars. So we're gonna shift into Bethesda. Fallout 76. I love how they opened it up. Bethesda was another one that started off a little rocky with Fallout 76. They did mention this.
Now, did they do that kind of last year with
Fallout? No, they were promoting Fallout 76 this year. Right. This year, after the fallout from Fallout 76, they mentioned about the DLC, and a lot of people were excited about it. We're getting Nuclear Winter. We're getting Year 2, where they're going to be adding human NPCs back into the world. So possibly Fallout 76 might become the game we were hoping to get last year. Which is good.
The voice from the people.
Which is good. So, I mean, I might re-download and check out Fallout 76 when all this drops. See if the addition of all this stuff is the game that we were all expecting and hoping for at launch. So, there's that. You have one thing that got me, and I don't know if you saw this, Ghostwire Tokyo. Did you see that trailer?
I don't think I did. I think I missed that one.
It looks interesting, and I might actually look more into it. There was no release date. There was nothing. It was just cinematics from the game so far. These ghosts people are disappearing in Tokyo, and you play as someone who's fighting the forces that are taking these people, and you have to save them and bring them back. And it's going to have like a supernatural. Yeah, it's going to have a supernatural, whatever. I'm interested in seeing more about this game. There was no mention of a release date, no mention of anything. So, unfortunately, that's all we got. We might see more next year. I don't know. Whenever they don't give a date or even a year it's coming out, that means it's literally just in development. So I guess we'll wait and see more. And then, of course, you have the Wolfensteins. You have Cyber Force, Cyber Pilot, which is the VR game, which actually I did cancel my pre-order, but I might remake the order because the VR game looks interesting. Now, the other game, which is Youngblood, I did not cancel. That is a sequel to the previous Wolfenstein game. That game looks awesome, and it's going to have co-op in it. The first ever, one of the first Wolfenstein co-ops, I believe.
Yeah, because not a lot of Wolfensteins had co-ops in it.
Yeah. I thought the trailer looked amazing for it. I was already down for Wolfenstein Youngblood since last year, so I'm really happy to see that we're going to be getting that this year.
Absolutely.
Nothing to add about all that. I want to make sure before we move on. And that was all we have from Bethesda. Was there anything else from Bethesda that? Oh wait, no. And there was also. I'm sorry, I must have forgot to put it on the list. Oh no, there it is. Doom Eternal.
Aha, I did see that one.
I was about to say we're ending Bethesda. You didn't even mention Doom Eternal.
Well, I was going to, but you just.
I asked you.
You going like this? I mean, there's so much to remember in E3. You know.
That's
like,
true. I'll
much.
give you that. There is a lot to remember from E3.
So, you know, there was just so much.
We have notes. I'm literally looking at the notes while we're going through this.
I'm trying to remember everything. Everything just blew me away. It's so much to remember from it.
But I thought Doom Eternal looked amazing.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it last year when they showed us the teaser trailer for it. I'm super looking forward to it now. I think it's coming out at the end of this year. Definitely, we've had that pre-ordered. Honestly, I think it's the last thing on our pre-order list because we pre-ordered it since last year.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to Doom Eternal, that's for sure. And that was all from Bethesda. Period. There was a lot of other mobile games mentioned, other things like that.
But that's the stuff we really don't.
Again, that doesn't.
buy.
Yeah. So we're gonna go into Ubisoft, which actually surprised me this year, and it surprised me with its first game that they showcased, Watch Dogs Legion.
Oh my god.
The memes that came out of that with Granny Assassin.
That Granny, I'll tell you, she was funny.
I literally, after watching this trailer, took a moment to go on Amazon to make sure to pre-order the gold version.
What about that Naomi girl?
She was like a female John Wick.
She was like all over the place.
So that game was an insta-buy after the trailer, after the gameplay. They spent 15 minutes on this game.
And you know what I like about this game?
Permadeath?
That's one of them, but I like the storyline, how it talks about that the government and everything's like, taking over and stuff like that.
And there's no main character. Right. You could be anyone.
And then when it's one person that steps into the order, and then more people, it's like us versus them. Like, it just...
And it could be virtually anyone. It could be an old person. It could be a young person.
Anybody.
It could be a kid. There was a kid showcased in the game.
Anybody.
And I love it. And this game looks like it's going...
I hate to interrupt you. It kind of reminds me of the novel 1984, but going into a much upper level of us actually hearing our voices and stepping in and doing something about it. That's what it reminds me.
I just love the trailer. The trailer and the gameplay sold me on the game immediately. If I had the extra money, I would go on ubishop.com and I would get the collector's edition with the skull mask that lights up and everything, but it's a hefty price, and I think I'll pass. But I did get the gold. Get the gold so I can make sure we have the season pass. But it looked amazing. That was the spotlight of Ubisoft for me. The rest, well, no, I'm sorry. We had Rainbow Six DLC that was mentioned. They showed a new operator off. They also later on showed Quarantine. They're going to be bringing Quarantine back. I don't know why they went in between games to do that. I don't know why they didn't do it all at once. But we got to see a new operator. We got to see Quarantine. Quarantine looks interesting. I will say that. I need a team to get together to play this game finally. I've owned it. I bought the first 2 or 3 seasons. I actually opted out of getting this season because you need 4 people. You need communication to play this game in order to play it good. And I unfortunately have not found enough people. I found some people, but I've not found enough to play it yet. And I really am hoping with all this stuff and all the hype around Rainbow Six, I really do hope I get a chance to play Rainbow Six Siege before we get the inevitable new Rainbow Six game. We also got Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and Bernthal was there. I forgot his first name.
Oh, John Bernthal, the one that played and he mentioned how he played the
Walking Dead and Punisher.
And then Punisher, that was amazing because I looked at Mike saying, "Oh yeah, that's him." Yeah,
I love that, and he explained his character, and he's going to be the antagonist that we go after, I believe, in this game, and his people used to be ghosts. Now they're wolves. So you're technically, it's not like Ghost Recon.
Facing
his team. So basically, it's not like Wildlands where you were just going up against random operatives. Now you are going up against people with the same tech as you, the same training as you, and everything. So these are going to be This is going to be one of those not hard games, but it's definitely going to be a challenge for sure, because you're going to be even with the enemy this time. And of course, we have the Terminator DLC. What do you call it? If you pre-order the game, you get some Terminator stuff. I think it's fine. I will say this, because the Xbox conference technically happened before Ubisoft. Another game is also dipping into the Terminator pool. Now, we all know the Terminator movie is coming out.
But it didn't just give a title, it just gave the theme, I heard.
No, you're going to get the character. I think somehow you're going to have some
Right, because you heard the music playing.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a pre-order bonus, so take that as what you will. There is another game that's going to be dipping into the Terminator pool as well, like I said. But we are getting a new Terminator movie this year, so if not them, Mortal Kombat would have done it again. So
probably.
What else was there from Ubisoft? But Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I've already had that pre-ordered for a while. I'm looking forward to it. The game looks great. The story looks great. John Bernthal's in it. One of the 2 stars we actually got to see at E3 this year. I'm really looking forward to Ghost Recon. I really am. It makes me want to go back and finish Wildlands, because there is a bonus DLC for free that kind of links Wildlands to Breakpoint. So I'm hoping, and they did showcase a couple of other things that are going to be on Breakpoint. I'm really, really excited for that in October. We also got For Honor DLC. If you're a For Honor player, I played For Honor for a while. Looks cool. It's only going to be out for X amount of time, and then the event will be over. It's more of an event than anything else. It looked cool. And then the Division 2 DLC.
That one.
3 episodes were mentioned. Now, it's no secret that a lot of people are very upset about the 8-man raid. People have been screaming matchmaking. People have been screaming that, console, it's a lot harder. As you all know, I'm a console player. I'm not here to argue any of that. I'm not here to talk about any of that. We're here to talk about what was mentioned at E3. E3, they mentioned another 8-man raid, which I haven't even started the first raid, because you need 8 people in order to do that. Getting 8 people simultaneously on Division to do that, just on Division period, is hard enough. To do that, which is a very long mission, whoo boy. So
and we're going to Coney Island.
I will mention that. So when they mention a second raid, my excitement isn't there, because I haven't even had the chance to see the first raid yet. So that kind of was like, okay. But then they explained about the expansion that we're going to be getting. We're going to be getting more missions. The map is going to expand, and this does involve the second raid. The second raid is going to be a part of this expansion to the world. And then episode 3, which is towards the end of the year, we're going back to New York. We're going not only back to New York, but remember how upset we were that we didn't get to spend enough time in Brooklyn? We're going back to Coney Island, like Michael said. 3rd episode is going to be Coney Island. And the rumors are it might, and it's a rumor, they did not mention this at E3, but the rumors are that is going to be the survival map. That's going to be interesting. So I will say, out of everything mentioned, the raid was the only thing that kind of made me go, who cares? Because I haven't done the first. Probably won't do the second. But you know what? Destiny 2 is the same way.
Exactly.
Never touched any of the raids, but at least those raids only involve 6 people. Anyway, moving on. From the Division, we also got a teaser for Gods and Monsters. No Assassin's Creed game this year. Only at the very beginning did they mention an Assassin's Creed orchestra or music. They're going to be touring. And I got to give Ubisoft credit. They did not do or go back to the formula of every single year as a new Assassin's Creed game. There was a nice break between Origin and... oh wow, why did this game leave my mind? The latest Assassin's Creed. And this year, all we got that was talked about was expansions to the actual current day Assassin's Creed game. They did not make a new Assassin's Creed game. So kudos to Ubisoft for not being another Call of Duty, for not making Assassin's Creed another Call of Duty game. I can appreciate that, and I am still really enjoying the current, which I don't understand why I can't remember. Was it Oblivion maybe? Probably. I don't know why the title's leaving my mind, but I am giving them kudos for not giving us yet another Assassin's Creed game, not even a year after the latest one. Was there anything from Ubisoft you wanted to mention, like Just Dance or something?
Well, they do Just Dance every year. Mm-hmm. And was this the one Keanu Reeves was in also? Or was
no, that's Xbox.
All right, that's the see. Like I said, so
See,
let's
now there's a
remember.
teaser for Xbox. We will be talking about that.
So whoops. But no, like Just Dance is always every year, and yeah, the one that we just talked about in the beginning of the Ubisoft was the real huge spotlight.
Yeah, definitely.
According with some gameplay that was there as well, the footage was just amazing of what we're to be expected for that game.
Game looks beautiful. I can't wait for it. Like I said, that's another game I made sure I pre-ordered. So that was it for Ubisoft. Now, Square Enix. We're gonna close this video out with Square Enix. Square Enix was very Final Fantasy. If it wasn't Final Fantasy 7, it was 8. If it wasn't 8, they were talking about the tour that they were doing with the music.
But let me tell you something. The only great part of Final Fantasy that was mentioned
was the first trailer.
Was Final Fantasy 7, I believe
it
was.
7
the
remake
with Cloud.
Like, we already have that. We already had that pre-ordered. I was going to cancel it, but after seeing what they showed at E3 this year, I'm definitely keeping that pre-ordered.
But the action and everything was jaw-dropping. The graphics and the whole like action scene.
And where you could switch between one player or another.
Not Wolf. Oh, wow. Cloud and...
Balrog. Supposed to be...
Oh, I can't remember. But he had like that arm that shot and everything. Yo, that was
arm that shot and everything. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the game a lot. Looks great. I was going to cancel that, especially because it's been like several years that they've been promising us this game.
Yeah, but this remake is definitely something that is a must-have, at least.
If you're a Final Fantasy fan, I would say it's a must-have.
I'm a Cloud fan. That's why.
That's why we ended up keeping it. But I thought it looked great. I thought the gameplay they showed us looked great. The trailer they showed us looked great.
I can't remember his name.
You'll remember it when we're done. Watch. Yeah. But other than that, like I said, it was very, very Final Fantasy. The rest of Square, and there were a couple of JRPGs, MMOs, RPGs in general that weren't Final Fantasy as well. But a lot of the stuff that Square Enix was releasing wasn't stuff that I'd see Michael and I playing. But if you're an MMO fan, if you're an RPG, JRPG...
They did mention Kingdom Hearts in there also.
That's what I was going to get to. There is going to be a Remind, was it called? It's going to be DLC.
Redux? No, not Redux.
No, not Redux.
It was...
It's going to be DLC. Let's just say that. It's DLC. It's coming out towards the end of the year. That was cool. And then, of course, they ended the conference. But why we were there, most of all, the Avengers game. That looks amazing. And when they mentioned at the end, all DLC, all added characters, everything is going to be free. Oh, that just made the game. I'm excited.
The 4-letter word of that free is just...
But we're gonna be getting more. Could you just turn that off? Just hit the volume button. Hit the volume button on it. Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah. Sorry
about that. Little minor interruption. The 4-letter word there, like I said, is free. And also, not only that, but...
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I should have had that on.
Yeah,
mute. Unedited. This is going to be unedited. I'm sorry, everyone. So that moment is going to be in this video. But
it's Avengers theme, so...
that is true. It's Avengers theme. But anyway... The gameplay the story looks good. We didn't get much gameplay, but we did get a lot of teases to what we're going to be getting. We're going to see the characters. They told us the plot of what the game's going to be about. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. That's one of the games. I think they said it was coming out mid-summer of 2020.
No, I think they said in mid-2020.
Mid-2020. So there's still a lot more to come. I couldn't find the game to pre-order. That's one of the games I could not find to pre-order, so I'm guessing that it's not ready to pre-order yet. I will be keeping an eye out for it. So, I mean, maybe after this video, I'll go look again and it'll be there. There's still a few games I need to make sure that are pre-ordered, but this game looks like the Avenger game of 2020. There's another Avenger game. We'll talk about that later, but that's the game for 2019. But that game looks spectacular, and kudos to Square Enix. It looks amazing. I can't wait for it. We got to talk with the voice actors, two of which I am very familiar with from Critical Role. They do D&D every Thursday on Twitch. Travis, who's going to be the voice of Thor. I'm excited.
Definitely.
It's going to be off the hook, I think.
It's gonna be really off the hook. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really.
And that's all you could say too.
Yeah.
And that was it for Square Enix. So, Final Fantasy. Oh, one thing I do want to go back and talk about from Ubisoft real quick. One thing I don't like, or I mean, it's not that personally I don't like it. I'm sure a lot of you might be excited about it. Uplay Plus, which you can now, if you pay $15 a month,
right,
online, you can get the entire library of Ubisoft games, which means Ubisoft will probably be pulling most of their games off of Steam to put exclusively on their streaming service. We've seen this before from other companies, which makes me worry about the future for Steam, because a lot of companies are taking their stuff and streaming it exclusively through their own stores. And again, you got to worry about, like with Fallout 76, where all purchases are final. Steam allows you about a 7-day grace period where you can return the game if you don't like it and get a refund. That wasn't the case with Bethesda's Fallout 76 a year ago. We talked about that earlier. Has me worried. Exact same reasons when it comes to Ubisoft as well, with their Uplay Plus. I won't be getting it because most of the Ubisoft games I already own. And again, when it comes to internet and stuff like that, I'll be talking more about internet or computer-wise play. And all this Uplay Plus is for PC. If you have console, you don't have to worry. You just keep getting the games. This is for PC gamers mostly. And as far as PC goes, as you all know, I don't have a PC that can run games, but I will be talking more about a program program that I joined in the next video that will allow me to actually, if I ever get a really up-to-date running PC for gaming, I'll be able to stream or play a lot of games online anyway. We'll talk about that, like I said, in the next video. But that's it for this video. What do you all think about the games we mentioned? Did we miss anything you want to talk about? Your thoughts on Uplay, your thoughts on Square Enix, Ubisoft, Bethesda, EA Play, all the companies we mentioned. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. The next video, which will be going up in the afternoon, will be the Xbox conference. So stay tuned.
Look forward to that.
Oh yes, look forward to that. There's a lot to talk about there as well. So stay tuned, and we will see you in the next video.
Yep, see you there.